Welcome back to the Be the CEO of Your Life and Business podcast. This week, anybody that's listening for any length of time knows how obsessed Amy and I are with certain podcasts that we listen to, and we listen to them religiously. And one of my favorites is, of course, Mel Robbins. And last weekend, I was listening to one of her episodes about her morning routine. And she talked about something that Amy and I have mentioned before, but we never really did a full episode about it, about how your morning routine starts the night before with your evening routine. And it's so easy to get caught up and just like fly through your day and just collapse at night without, even thinking about preparing for the next morning, which is what I used to do. I mean, I never had an evening routine. I never even thought about it.
Right.
But once I had kids and I was working, and I started realizing that if I wanted to have my morning routine, I really needed to prepare some things the night before.
Yeah.
So I started small and built up to doing a couple more things that really set me up for the next morning. And so I thought it would be good for us to talk about an evening routine to get you ready for the morning routine, because I don't think a lot of people have that.
I don't. I'll be full disclosure here. And I love this idea. And Laura has been implementing certain routines at night that I've just been like, oh, that sounds amazing. And I'm thinking about it more, and I'm like, all right, I know I do have like a routine, kind of like winding down, like receiving the kids home and getting their bags undone. And like, I have a routine of how I do things at night, but it's not a routine that necessarily sets me up for my next day. It's kind of like controlling the chaos.
Do you set out your workout clothes?
Well, yeah, I do.
That's part of an evening routine.
That's very true.
So it doesn't have to be like
grand gestures,
like this huge, and that's kind of what she was saying. And it's like, I don't have some like 2-hour evening routine.
Yeah.
It's just certain steps that I take at night that prepare me for the next morning. It makes me easy. It makes it easier for me to jump out of bed and have my workout clothes right there, have my Energize cup, like it's already filled with water.
Yeah, that's
the night
okay.
before.
So here's the thing. Maybe I do have a routine and I just don't know it. Because in my mind's eye, I have a morning routine that is like 2 hours long, and it is like very specific habit. But I guess when you look at it, I come home from work, probably like, let's say it's 6:00, right? We have dinner, we unpack the kids' bags from school, we set their snacks, we set their lunches. I set my stuff so that I don't have to set it in the morning. My biggest fear is like running late because I can't pack my own bags, or I'm missing a step in the morning. And so I always say, like, what if my alarm doesn't go off and I'm running so behind that I can't prep my lunch, or I can't prep the kids' lunches? Then I'm really screwed. Like I'm going to be so set back. So I have always said, okay, let's just set their snacks the night before in their lunchbox. Let's set whatever we need to in the refrigerator so we can kind of like grab and go in the morning. Whereas maybe my husband would not do those things, and he'd be like, let's do it in the morning. It's fine. No big deal. But it just gives me the peace of mind that at night I'm like, okay, my water is in my shaker cup for Energize. I have my workout clothes laid out. But you know what I don't have is, I don't feel like I have a peaceful like wind down for myself. And I think that's what I'm
talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's what it is.
It's great. I don't have that either.
Right.
Like the one thing that's very important to me at night before I go to bed, or one of the things, is that I always wear my blue light glasses. So I keep them on my night table, because I always wind down by like, I'll look at Instagram, or I'll look at a couple things on my phone before I go to bed, just to relax, because I don't really look at it a lot during the day.
Yeah.
So I'll just look and read a couple things before I go to bed. I have my Kindle on my phone also, so maybe I'll read like a couple pages of a book or something like that. So I keep those on my night table. But I think that people, they don't implement these things because it sounds so overwhelming, like evening routine. It sounds like it has to be this like grand 2-hour routine, when it doesn't. And neither does your morning routine.
It's true.
But if you want to get ready for the next morning, like certain little things that I do, which Mel Robbins does as well, is the same things you were talking about. And I've been doing this for years now to make it less hectic when I get up in the morning, less things that I have to do. Everybody knows I work out first thing in the morning. My workout clothes are on the counter in my bathroom, so that I literally walk into the bathroom, brush my teeth, put on my workout clothes
Mhm.
and go downstairs.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's done. It's set out the night before. So it's one less decision you have to make
Right.
in the morning.
So true.
So my workout clothes are there the night before. I also will sometimes set my coffee the night before. So I don't have
Okay.
to think about that in the morning.
Mhm.
And I get my Energize ready. I put the water in the cup. It's on my counter. I also have my Element when I'm working out.
Mm.
So I have a water bottle there. I have the packet of Element next to my Energize. So I literally, I don't have to think about it. All I do is walk down into the kitchen, throw the Energize in the cup, throw the Element packet in the water bottle, and I go downstairs.
Yeah.
My sneakers are already in my workout area.
Me too.
Right?
Oh, that's a game changer.
Sneakers are already in the workout
Yep.
area. Again, one less step that you have to take in the morning. I literally walk downstairs, I read, I do my morning routine, and I walk over and I put my shoes on because
Right.
they're already there.
Right.
So these are not huge steps, right?
Right.
Not overwhelming, not huge steps, but they have a huge impact as to whether or not your next morning is going to be chaotic. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Totally makes sense. And so when we talked about this topic earlier in the week and we were like, this is the topic for this week's recording, I said to myself, I'm like, I don't have an evening routine. Like I said, I'm like, with 2 little kids, it's chaos and I collapse in bed at night. And so my thought process was I needed some like wind down for myself, right? Like it had to be something that I was doing, like an activity, like a meditation or reading for, 20 minutes or something like that to kind of wind down and prepare myself for the next day or prepare myself to go to sleep. But what we're really suggesting here is you're just setting yourself up for success for the following day. So it could be something as simple as just setting out your workout clothes because, and as Mel Robbins talks about, ad nauseum, is that removes the activation energy in the morning when you're about to do that thing. So you don't have to think, okay, I have to keep the lights off. I have to rummage through my drawers, pick out the clothes I'm going to wear because I don't
Right.
want to wake up my partner.
Yeah.
You just have them right there. Mine are always at the foot of my bed. I grab them, I get changed, I go downstairs, same routine that Laura has, like literally same routine. I have my
I
water
find that
already
very
filled.
hard to believe.
I know. Oh, I have my water filled up. I've got my Energize that goes right away. I have my journals together. I have the book that I'm reading for personal development. I have a highlighter and a pen already sitting there and it's ready to go. And then I do my workout and then off to the races. Like the kids will be up and, the rest of the morning ensues.
I think the big thing is that you have to think about first, what do you want your morning routine to be? Like, what are the things that you need to get ready for the next morning? Like, I know, what do I do in my morning routine? I'll tell you exactly my whole routine. I get up, I roll into the bathroom, I brush my teeth, throw on my workout clothes, go down to the kitchen, get my Energize, get my Element, go into the basement. And when I go to the basement, I have a specific spot that I sit in when I do my journal, my breathing exercises, or if I want to do a quick meditation that morning. And if I have time, I'll read a little bit, the book that I'm reading. So my journal, a pen, and my book are all, I don't move them. Sometimes on the weekends, if I have more time, if I know I'm going to read during the day, like I'll take the book upstairs, but my journal never leaves that spot. Book most of the time does not leave that spot. So those items are there and ready for me to use right away. So I don't have to think about where they are, where did I put it? I have to find it. It's there. Then I go to do my workout. Everything is there, right? I bring my water, my Energize down with me. My shoes are already there. I also know what workout I'm doing because I'm always following like a program or something. Sometimes I'll print out the calendar. I have it sitting right there. My weights are there. Everything is set out so that it's one less decision I have to make. But a lot of those things start the night before.
Yeah.
And it's not even really in a quote unquote routine. Like I don't do them at a certain time every night. It's just right before I go upstairs and go to bed, fill up my water, get my Element and my water bottle out, and I just put it on the counter and I go upstairs and then I quickly get my clothes together. And it doesn't take a lot of time.
Right. And I think and for us, this is because we are morning routine people. Like if your evening routine is you're going to work out, then maybe you shift that routine into like setting out your clothes before you leave for work for the day so that when you come home, they're there.
Such a good point.
Mel Robbins, I think she says that she like lays out her clothes on the ground in her closet. So like she's literally tripping over them. Like they're there. She's like, shoot, now I have to put them on. And she says like she hates working out. Absolutely hates it. She does it like she does yoga, Pilates, she does hikes, whatever. But she says she does it because she knows that she should move her body and exercise and whatnot. But like she will trip over her clothes because they are on the floor, like ready for her.
Yeah.
And so if it's something that like you do your workouts at night when you come home from work, I know my husband is not a morning workout person, but he loves going on the Peloton when he gets home from work or like later on at night, which I don't know how he can do it. He's just got energy that I don't have at that time of day. But for him, it would be, before he leaves work for work in the morning, he could put his clothes on the foot of the bed or buy the Peloton bike for all I care and just like have it right there so that when he gets home, that's setting him up for success. He doesn't have to think about it. It's already pulled for him. He literally can just put the clothes on and go.
Yeah. So this could apply like no matter when you have your routine time, right? So like Joey, if you're an evening workout person, set out your stuff in the morning before you go to work. I mean, just take the steps, remove the decisions that you're going to have to make when you get to the point in time that you're doing whatever your
That's the point. That's the point. Because forget about working out for a second. Think about just your mornings in general. If you don't work out at all and you just have a really hectic schedule and you have kids to get out the door, it could just be as simple as packing lunches the night before so that they're ready to go in the morning. It doesn't have to revolve around necessarily you. It's just helping you set up for that next morning to be successful and not so stressful. Because honestly, the important part is that whatever you do at the very beginning of your day is really going to set the tone for the day. So no matter what it looks like or what it is, whatever kind of like routines you have in the morning, if you are not moving through it like effortlessly and you constantly have to, expend energy or make decisions, or there's just issues, you can't find things. And then you're scrambling, right? Like you're like, we've had those mornings and it's like the worst thing ever. Cause then when you get to your office or you get to where you have to be, you're like, oh, really? Like that was not fun. And then that energy just pulls into your day,
Yeah, it's really awful. And that's not to say that we've never had days where the morning wasn't like all calculated and planned out. It's like it happens.
Always happens.
It happens. And especially I had 1 or 2 nights last week where I woke up in the morning and I said, oh my God, I forgot to fill my cup. And I felt it and I was running downstairs. Even though it takes like 1 or 2 minutes. This 1 or 2 minutes that I save if I do it the night before. And it's one less thing I have to think about in the morning. So that was not even that tiny thing that threw me off a little bit. But it's going to happen. Like we always say, we're not robots, right? We're human beings.
Right.
These are just things that we have implemented that make our lives a little bit easier. Why do you think this topic is so overwhelming for people?
I think it's overwhelming. At least I know for me, when I first was thinking about this and thinking on this for the week, I said to myself, how do I have a routine when my kids create so much chaos at night? Like they're just at that age where every 5 seconds my husband or I hear mommy or daddy. And normally it's more mommy than it is daddy, and it drives me wild. But it's just constantly interrupting, and it doesn't feel like I can plan for anything because I have other people that are going to interrupt that flow. Right. So like my mornings I can plan because nobody else is awake yet 9 times out of 10. And it's just me and I'm all by myself and I'm just plugging along with the routine that I have. But when you have other people that are constantly vying for your attention, it can be so overwhelming to be like, okay, I'm going to plan this perfect, plan for how the night's going to go, and it's going to get derailed. And it's like, well, then what's the point? And I think that that's a lot of other people. I think that's a very relatable feeling that people have, is that it's just difficult to want to do any of that because you're exhausted and you don't see the benefit of it, because really you don't know the benefit of it until you actually start trying it.
Right. Right.
Right.
Which is, that's the hardest part, is getting started.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So if just do it a couple nights in a row, think about what you want your morning to look like, what things you want to accomplish in the morning, and what could help you the night before. And during the school year, even like Amy said, this doesn't have to necessarily relate to you personally in the morning. Like for the kids, Matthew doesn't really pack anything anymore, but like for Chris and Kaylee, I try to get their snacks ready the night before. If I'm making them lunch in the morning, I figure out what I'm making them and, where everything is. Sometimes I'll take things out and put like the containers next to each other. I'll take their bowls out for breakfast, like anything that I can think of that will help me. I will put it on the kitchen table ready for them. If I know she's going to want cereal the next morning, I will take out the cereal, put it on the table next to the bowl. So it's like one less step that I have to take. And it's just something that I learned after not doing it and having such chaos. I don't know if you remember when my kids were very young.
And you were doing it yourself, because
I was
Mike
doing
was
it
already
myself. Mike was not home, and it was a nightmare, total nightmare. And I learned through trial and error what made my life easier. When they were little, I had these shoe racks. I don't know if you remember this. I had these shoe racks that hung in their closets.
Oh my
They were
gosh,
old
yeah.
shoe racks of mine. And I forget where I got this idea from, but I would take out that, because the clothes were a huge issue. Huge. I don't know if you remember how Kaylee used to fight with me every morning. It was a disaster. So on Sundays, I would pick out 5 outfits for the week, and I would roll the outfits together, underwear, socks, everything. And I would put one outfit in each slot for every day of the week.
Genius.
And it saved me, literally, because I was about to have a nervous breakdown. I said, how am I supposed to deal with 3 kids, getting them ready by myself, and fighting with them about what they're wearing to school?
Right.
So even something like that, if you have kids that are younger and you still help them pick out their clothes every day, on Sundays, figure out what they're wearing.
For the night before.
Or the night before. It doesn't have to be for the whole week.
Right.
Even just the night before. And I will do that with Kaylee. Even still, she's 10. Depending on the mood she wakes up in, we'll see. It depends. Like, so most days she'll pick out her own outfit and it'll be fine. But if we're having a week where she's being more difficult, I will say to her at night, Kaylee, you better pick out your outfit for tomorrow, because I'm not dealing with this in the morning.
Yeah.
So she will pick out her outfit at night, and then I don't have to deal with that drama in the morning.
Right.
So even that one thing is huge. Huge.
And our kids are watching those routines, and they will gravitate to those routines. Like, I feel like kids are more robots than we actually give them credit for, no matter how much chaos they can create. But they are very methodical and habitual. And if you put those routines in place and you start doing those things at night, they're going to pick up on it, because now we have Olivia. We do it every single night with her. We tell her, you have to pick out your clothes for the next day, because if she's running late, waking up because she loves to sleep, we need to have that, so that if she's in a cranky mood, we don't have to figure out a decision while she's a grump in the morning. So we'll say, worst. Joey actually I'm not even kidding you. He put painter's tape and it made a little box on the corner of her dresser and was like, this is where your pajamas go after you change out of them. This is where your clothes for the next day will go.
I love that.
Just because it was like, this is where it needs to go. This is where it belongs, because this is the easiest place. Then we don't have to like race around her room trying to figure out where her clothes are, where she put her socks, whatever. It's just a spot that now she knows those are where my clothes go.
I'm going to have Joey come do that for Christopher. Because he gets ready for baseball and literally changes in the kitchen. Don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
Takes his pants off, and they are literally standing in the spot on the kitchen floor where he changed. My mom asked my mom about it. She died laughing.
Probably
She's like, I can't believe he does this. He literally every time the clothes are in the middle of the kitchen floor.
And then it's like, all right, then where'd they go? Right? Like, I mean, teaching the kids, like, that's not where you're supposed to leave them, or they have to go into the laundry room. Like, that's another step too. But like, to have those routines in place, if you do them for yourselves and they trickle down to your kids, it's like magic, because then it starts to become a process and a routine for them. And when they get old enough to the point where they realize that, then they're like, oh, okay, now I can do this. And this is where it goes. And it's the most satisfying thing to walk into Olivia's room at night and there's already an outfit picked out. And I'm like, Oh, bless you,
It
child.
makes your life so much
So
easier.
much
Because
easier.
let's be serious, having kids working, it's all super stressful.
Yeah.
And the less decisions that you have to make in the morning, when you're racing to get out of the house, the better. And
Yeah.
it creates a more peaceful environment. And it's just a lot less stress on you.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to make your life a little bit easier, and you already have some sort of a morning routine, I would say, look at the things that you have to do in the morning, see what you can prepare the night before. And those decisions that you don't have to make in the morning, you can make them the night before, will make your life so much easier.
Yeah.
So we thank you for spending time with us, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.